It has always been a dream of mine to travel the world. Ever since I was a child, my mom would tell me stories of how her and her friends went to Greece and France and Italy and Ireland, and I realized that's something I really wanted to do. Now, I've been pretty fortunate to have gone to some pretty cool places in my lifetime so far, but as always, I crave more. I was lucky enough that I finally got to branch out from my hometown when my Girl Scout troop took our senior trip to Iceland. It was an amazing trip, but it took a lot of hard work to get there. It all started 5 years ago during my freshman year of high school. It was an ordinary Sunday, and we were having our normal troop meeting. Our leader, Carrie, told us that we really needed to start thinking about what we wanted to do for our last giant trip as a Girl Scout troop. Now, it may seem weird that we need to figure this out 4 years in advance, but the thing with Girl Scouts is that there's a lot of prior paperwork that needs to be filled out before you can even declare that you're going on a trip. And before that paperwork is done, you can't start planning or paying for the trip. So we started to lay out some ground ideas. First, it was a debate between taking a cruise to Alaska, Mexico, or Hawaii. But at this point, we had at least picked the type of trip we were going on, a cruise. Now, just knowing the type of trip was enough of the info needed to fill out the preliminary paperwork. However, we were still a little iffy on the destination, but we figured that we would deal with it later. The next important step we had to take was fundraising. Now, another thing to note about Girl Scouts is that the cookie sales do not earn money for the troop. For every $5 box we sell, we only receive 63 cents. The reason selling cookies and nuts are important, though, is that once a troop has fulfilled a Girl Scout fundraiser, they can go organize their own separate fundraisers where the real money is made. Our big fundraiser was gift wrapping in front of our local sports chalet during December. Now, by the second year we'd been doing this, we realized that we needed to finally set an official destination for our trip. And it was at this point we realized we really didn't want to go on a cruise anymore. So my friend Lucy jokingly suggested that we go to Iceland so she could go stalk her favorite band, Of Monsters and Men. The room went quiet with such an out-of-nowhere idea, but the more we thought about it, the more we realized that Iceland would be the perfect place for our troop to go, with its lush landscapes and plethora of adventurous outdoor activities for us to participate in. So, everything seemed to be finally going on the right track. The only problem, I had to convince my parents I was responsible enough to go. This included raising my own money and planning the trip by myself. So basically, trying to do this self-sufficiently. I was more than up for the task. The reward was too great. So I got to planning. I bought and marked numerous travel books coming up with the places to eat and see. I looked at the costs of all the activities we wanted to do and went to see if they would fit in our budget. It was finally coming up to the time of our last gift wrapping fundraiser my junior year of high school. We finally had chosen a destination and we were almost done raising money. This was it, a chance to finally prove to my parents I could do this. My last shift was the morning of Christmas Eve. After everyone was done that night, our troop leader sent us all emails with the balance of our personal Girl Scout accounts. I checked the email as soon as possible, but I noticed, however, that I was still a few $100s short. I had one of those, oh crap kind of moments. I had no choice though. I had to pitch this idea to my parents either way. There was no way I was missing this trip. After dinner that night, I got all my materials for my research and planning and my account statement ready to show them how close I was. I sat them down at our kitchen table and started making my pitch. I tried to persuade them, showing them how we planned to use all the money, all the destinations we would go to, and basically an itinerary of our entire trip. Of course, it all came down to the cost. This was the moment. I showed them my account statement and they saw that it was still a couple $100s short. So I finally had to ask, could you guys help me cover the cost? And as most parents say those dreaded words, we'll think about it. I went to bed that night with a bad feeling that this might not be happening. I woke up the next morning excited for Christmas Day. My brother came into my room and told me it was time to go open presents. As I got downstairs, I gazed at the boxes under the tree, and then I looked over to my stocking. I saw a piece of paper sticking right out of the top. It's a check signed with the rest of the money I need for the trip. I joyously thank my parents for helping me cover the rest of the cost. In conclusion, I got to go on one of the best trips in my life so far. Iceland was an adventure from the hiking, to the caving, to the whitewater rafting. I never would have been able to go if I hadn't worked hard and proved responsible enough to go. I realized the way to get what you want is to show motivation, hard work, dedication, and responsibility.